I used to want to be like, dude, I want to work hard to like promote this and get it out there, but more and more I'm making it extremely personal. So like I told you, I'm making music for myself, I'm making music for Island Center, and then I'm writing on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I even write sermons for the church that I attend when I preach on Sundays.
2 and 1. We are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show, episode 42. We got Mr. B-Rad back in the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excited to. I'm really excited for this episode, guys. Lately, we've just been on fire with the guests that we've been bringing on. We're lucky and blessed to have the relationships we do, and we kind of want to talk about this right away. But I'm gonna wait till we introduce our guest. So let's waste no time. The infamous John Reagan.
What's up,
guys?
Welcome to the pod, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, welcome
Appreciate
to the
you.
Instagram podcast.
Appreciate you, bro.
You know, a lot of people don't know. We kind of go way back. You know.
Yeah.
We were just talking with both of us. You know, we've had a relationship with you. I mean, we're talking like we haven't been like had a Thanksgiving since like we haven't seen each other.
I know. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll stop by.
Yeah, but like I mean, outside of that, you know, from the outside world, you're kind of blowing up on the music scene, man.
Yeah.
You really are.
Thanks, bro.
I follow you on Spotify and YouTube and obviously Instagram. And it just makes me happy, man, to see you doing your thing, you know?
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, so before we get started, though, I want to talk to this art piece because we always showcase like a different art piece every episode. It's kind of like our brand.
I almost forgot and remembered.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you did because, you know, you said this was the cover for one of your singles, right?
Yeah, my song Watercolors. And this girl in Europe painted it. And I loved it so much. I was like, I have to have this and use it for my song. So I actually wrote a song while I was in Prague, which is the Czech Republic in Europe, and I wrote the song based off of the painting and my experience while I was in Prague. And so then she was like, "Yeah, use it, take it, whatever you want to do." I was like, "Sick."
That's awesome.
Isn't it crazy how art you know, mixes so well with music?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like physical art and then you know, music is like an art that you can only obtain through your ears.
Yeah.
But they almost complement each other.
They do.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in this piece, so I really like it.
So you said you're in Prague? What are you doing out there? Just
I went to. Do
visiting,
you guys not remember that? I went to Prague. I saw Luke while he was in Budapest.
Yeah, Luke, my brother.
Yeah, your brother.
Yeah, so Luke was in Budapest. You were in Prague, and you guys linked up somewhere out there.
Yeah. We I went to him, and I met all of his friends, and we went to the palaces, and like
what?
Dang,
he took me to some restaurants and stuff, and we just had fun.
That's sick.
Yeah, we walked around Budapest. Like he taught me culture and what they like, how they talk about certain things over there. Yeah, dude, it was cool.
That's awesome. Cool, man. So yeah, so those of you guys that don't know, you know, John Reagan, he's good friend. He graduated actually with my brother and Brandon. You guys are like around the same age, right? And so I was always like the older brother, you know, and like you guys would always be kicking it at the house, like on the trampoline and stuff.
Yeah.
So like the fact that you guys stayed friends though, like even after high school and stuff, and you guys are meeting like in countries and all that.
Yeah.
That's something cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I went out there, and I was like super depressed, but I went out there and I was like, "You're out here too, so I might as well meet up with you." And I met up with him, and I remember I was 19, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a shot at this hotel." And the hotel was serving shots, dude. And so I had a shot of whiskey, bro. Your brother was just like, "All right, go for it."
I'm going to see Luke's face.
He told your parents this, right?
You're like, "I'll take a shot." They're like, "Of what?" The best stuff, top shelf.
Yeah, dude. The liquor there is so cheap, so I think I had like
Just paid like $4
a shot of like
something.
expensive whiskey for
Yeah.
a couple euros.
You're all balling out.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that go with spending money out there and stuff? Do you just like do you go to a bank and
I just
cash out?
You can, yeah. I just use my credit card and it charges me like $1 for everything I use out there.
So like it translates
does it?
basically.
Yeah, automatically. Yeah.
That's cool, man. How long were you out there for? Just like a summer?
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks or so.
It wasn't even that long, but it changed my life, dude. It really did.
Really? Why do you say that?
There's something about leaving the country
Right.
and being by yourself and not really having like a plan, but just going somewhere and doing whatever happens. I got lost the day I got into the country, into Czech.
Dang.
I got lost and I walked around the city for 12 hours. And I found my hostel on accident.
Oh my god.
And I checked in. And they're like, "You're checking in really late." And I was like, "Yeah, so I got lost in the city."
Oh my god.
And they're like, "You don't have like a GPS?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not paying for a service out here."
Oh man. So
Yeah.
you were just trying to find it old school, like just
Mhm.
looking for the name of the building you're supposed to be
I
staying?
had a map drawn from the airport. Someone at the airport drew a map, but I couldn't read any of the streets, but I didn't know where I was.
He's
doing.
like, the black cat was supposed to be on that corner. Dang it!
It's on that corner.
There's like no street names. Where's the crazy old lady?
Dude, I found so much good food though. So like I was lost.
So throughout that whole day.
That whole day, I was just like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna just go to the first place I see, dude." I had this liquor ice cream.
Like a malt
Dude.
or something crazy.
Yeah, it's like, so the ice cream is mixed with a beer, and then they have the cone, right? But then in the cone is whiskey
What?
and like vodka.
And it
but
holds
like,
it all in there?
and it holds it all in there, and then just ice cream.
So at the
stuffed.
end, it's just like a sweet like thing.
Sweet liquor thing.
No wonder why you couldn't find any replacement. It's probably right next to you the whole time.
You turn around.
Dude, what the heck?
So,
That's
Dude, it
cool
was
that
great,
you did that.
though.
Hey man, I've heard like everyone that's been out of the country and got to experience Europe and all that, they say it's changed their lives and it's always in a different way.
Mhm.
yeah.
You like realize, you know, how much different it is back in the States.
Yeah, dude.
And you have a different like perspective, like just on other realities, you know? Like
Yeah.
us here in the States, it's like we think that everyone lives like how we live and it's like opposite.
Yeah.
Like we're this one little small little speck on the map. And there's a whole other world, dude, out there.
Yeah, it's so much fun, dude. You've been out of the country, right?
I've been like to Mexico. I haven't been anywhere else.
Hey, we don't talk about the smuggling days.
No.
I'm just kidding. So I met up with Chapo a couple
If
times.
you would go to,
Well, yeah, Chapo's a cool dude, but we don't talk about it.
if you guys were to go anywhere outside the country, where would you first go?
I want to go to Switzerland
Switzerland?
or
Okay.
Iceland. One of those.
Gotta save up for that one. I don't know, man. Somewhere just beautiful, green. Nothing like even crazy, like, you know, the Congo. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, man. I'm honestly open to whatever. I think there's a lot of beautiful states, like or a lot of beautiful places in like Mexico. You know,
I've never
South
been to Mexico, even though
America.
it's right next to us.
What's that?
I've never been to Mexico, even though it's right next to us.
Really?
It's
I like him. Like I've only been like a couple times.
Yeah.
But like I've never been to like, you know, people go to like Puerto Vallarta
Yeah.
and all that. Like it's like common. I've never been either.
Yeah, dude, that's
I don't
what
know.
this is about.
That's cool, man.
That's awesome.
My trip to
dude.
Europe.
It's
Michelle.
so kind of describe what we're looking at. So if you guys can't see, it's like a silhouette of a girl, right?
Yeah, it's a statue of. I think the artist was trying to do a statue of Mother Mary, and then there's just plants growing, with some vine growing around her, of some sort. The painter is Michelle Marie Sharp. I think you can find her on Instagram as like Michelle Marie Paints or
I'm
something.
surprised
like
she didn't even put her signature on that
Yeah, for
or
sure.
anything like that. Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
she did. It's in the bottom corner.
Did she? So did you get a chance to meet her?
Yeah.
Was she?
Yeah,
what,
she-
did she say there's a story behind this kind of, or was it just like? Is she one of those artists that just lets you like perceive it how you want?
Kind of perceive it how you want. I don't think she really gave me much of an explanation.
I kind of like that
Yeah.
because then you get to like make your.
I
own
love how
story.
dark it
Interpreting
is, you know?
yourself.
It's just
Yeah.
it's very dark, but the statue's lit up and
Yeah,
then
there's a lot of meaning that you could even make on that. You know.
I like how it's running.
Yeah, it just has so much emotion on it, dude. And I like how the canvas is like not smooth.
It's grainy.
Yeah, me too. I like how the plant looks like freshly grown over the statue that's probably years and years old,
Yeah.
and it's almost like it's bleeding life on her.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Isn't that cool?
You should just say that to you, bro.
Bro, that's
And
me
that
with my,
color
with
with
my,
long
with my
hair?
Jedi robe.
That would
Yeah.
Hey,
Hand out.
speaking of Jedi's though,
Obi-Wan.
I saw
Dude.
you reshare that.
Bro, Obi-Wan's my favorite Star Wars character.
Same, dude.
Dude,
Same.
That's honestly mine too. I'm not even making that up.
Dude, I'm so stoked about this show. I'm really nervous that they're gonna mess it up,
I don't think they are.
but I'm so excited, bro.
It makes me happy they're even bringing the old Anakin back.
I know.
I know, dude.
I
That's
think
what's gonna make
I
it.
think that's what I got. What I'm most nervous about.
Is
Because
bringing
everyone
Anakin back?
talks so like down on him and like old movies, like as an actor, But I think he's
gonna be great.
I think
he might even be better in this than in the movies.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's gonna be almost more of a redemption for Anakin.
Yeah.
You know,
for Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, because he really is an amazing actor.
He is, yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in movies where he's like just been, you know, he just takes the writing that they give him and he does the best that he can.
Yeah, totally. I think it's gonna be Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, Obi-Wan and Anakin. They're gonna be good no matter what.
Yeah, that's what
I'm worried about like the visual effects. Did you watch Boba Fett?
Yeah.
I thought the visual effects were really bad.
Really?
Yeah, and the Mandalorian looks so good. And
Are you referring to like the Luke Skywalker scenes?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
No, I'm talking about like
in the
the pig creatures. You can tell they were just big dudes with painted green on them.
Yeah.
And
but
then
that's
like
the old Star Wars movies. I feel like
but in the old Star Wars movies, they're wearing costumes.
That's what they're wearing on this one.
No, in this one, there's just big fat dudes with. No, they're not animated. They just have painted green on them.
Really?
Like they're not wearing costumes. They're just wearing paint.
I didn't know.
The fat pigs, the bodyguards.
Yeah, so they're just fat dudes with green paint on them. And I was like, it just looks kind of like cheesy to me.
Yeah.
I get that.
You know?
I got Boba Fett did look a little bit cheap.
Boba Fett looked a little cheap. He looked better in The Mandalorian than he did in his own show. And then there's 2 or 3 episodes where he's barely even in it.
Yeah, it was all Mando.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I loved those episodes. And I loved the episode with, spoiler alert, I loved the episode with Luke.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was so good, dude. But
yeah,
it was
could
like,
be Luke Skywalker, it could be another Luke,
yeah. But it's like, it's not even it's a Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
And we
they
barely
needed
even
Mando
saw
to save it.
They needed Mando and Luke to save it.
Well, I mean, it's hard. How can you build such a big old huge story arc off of a character that has like, 10 lines?
You can do it, bro.
And I think
you've got the biggest company in the world making.
But they did the best they could. I feel like it wasn't horrible, but for what we're given, I'm like, okay, whatever.
I'm happy with. Like, I don't hate it. I hate The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
I hate The Last Jedi, but I don't hate Boba Fett. Boba Fett was like fun.
Yeah. It was like an old western, and I really liked the bad guy,
Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane. I thought they did a good job.
He did.
Were you talking about visuals though? I thought he looked amazing.
Yeah, he looked sick.
He was one that's probably where they spent all their budget.
He was from he's from the Clone Wars. Did you guys watch Clone Wars?
Yeah, he's the animated blue dude. I don't know too much about his story, but I know he's like a really famous bounty hunter as well, right?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite bounty hunters.
Wait, so who's that guy? I know on Twitter, a lot of people for the new Obi-Wan.
And they were making fun of the way he looked. The Inquisitor.
Yeah, I don't know. Who is it?
Yeah, so he's from Rebels, which is the animated show that's like a sequel to Clone Wars. But it looks like he's wearing a bald cap, bro.
It does.
And I'm like, just shave his head. Why did you
which show?
The Obi-Wan show.
Oh, they showed him in the trailer.
They showed him in the trailer, and he just looks like he's wearing a cheesy costume.
Yeah.
But Star Wars knows how to make aliens look like they're actual real aliens.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does he look so cheesy?
It's probably hard because they don't want to like. So now, like, you look at the prequels, and it's all animated, all visual effects. Yoda is like 100% CGI.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it realistic.
Yeah, and then the old ones are all like guys in costumes. Like Yoda's like a little.
But at least I think that the costumes in the old ones still look better than.
Right. I think that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, is make
the Inquisitor. His like it just looks like he's wearing a bald cap on top of his poofy hair, bro.
Oh man.
And paint on him. It looks
it's
so
not
bad.
too late for them to change it. They might like.
Apparently, a lot of people think that they did change it because the backlash was so bad because they postponed the release of this show 2 days.
So they might be doing like some last minute touch-ups.
I think they did last minute touch-ups, and they're like, all right, postpone the show 2 days, and I bet you he's only in 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just edited those 2 episodes.
How many episodes is it supposed to be?
6.
But each episode is like an hour or longer.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, so it's basically going to be like a trilogy of movies coming out in one series.
When does it drop? June?
It's like 3 movies. May 27th. 2 episodes, May 27th. So the first movie, right, if you count it by length, it's 2 hours, right? So if you count it as the first movie drops May 27th.
We were just talking about this. See, it seems like, like entertainment's moving more towards like TV series than like movies in a way.
Yeah, I don't think
like would you rather let me just ask you, would you rather them just make an Obi-Wan movie, one good Obi-Wan movie, or would you rather prefer like the series how they're doing it?
Series.
Okay, so you think series?
I think series.
If they were going to do like extremely high budget blockbuster
like action
trilogy, I would prefer that.
Oh, trilogy.
Yeah.
So like 3 movies.
This is a trilogy basically, but put into a TV show. So I'm just worried about the budget. If it's got a low budget and they just are cheap with it, and like if this is a movie, would you guys have put more effort into it? That's the only thing I'm worried about. Everything else I feel like will be great, but I'm worried about the budget. I don't want to watch Obi-Wan and be like, this looks like a fan-made movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like,
and sometimes fan-made stuff looks way better.
Because there are some TV shows where they're just like...
The TV shows are cheesy.
I mean, how can you possibly, like, spend, like, an insane amount of money on, like, 10 episodes? Like, there's going to be some episodes where you're like, we'll cut back on the CGI on this one.
Well, I also think, too, the series, I kind of like what they're doing is because they're setting it up. Like, we got so accustomed with the last 2 years of being at our house. They're going to give us kind of that movie feel with these episodes, and then like what we were talking about Doctor Strange, bam, there's the.
So you think this one's gonna build up to another blockbuster movie?
I don't know what Star Wars, because I don't know.
But that's what Marvel's doing for sure.
Exactly.
They're building all these shows to hype up one big blockbuster movie. It saves them money, probably.
It does,
you know,
yeah.
Like their spend. I think WandaVision was like $25 million. Loki was like $25 million an episode. Captain Winter Soldier and the Falcon was like $25 million an episode, and then they'll have, and this all kind of leads up to like Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was what, I think a lot of like billions, in the billions, right?
Exactly.
But then you look at like
so like they're saving money, but they're building this story throughout the year. For the end of the year, you're gonna get a big blockbuster.
Exactly.
That's what you want though. Like that's what makes these movies so good is because they already have all these characters have backstories. So when you see a character that's like kind of like even like, well, they haven't made a series about it, but like I like how Marvel like shines a light and makes like lower characters have bigger stories. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, like no one knew about them really that much. They weren't like huge like Spider-Man, but they just like took a chance on these characters and now they're like fan favorites.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Even Loki.
Yeah, Loki.
You know, like he's not. I mean, like we all know him as Thor's brother in the comics, and but like he has his own TV series, and now we all like kind of like him. You know.
Yeah.
Like if I see him in a movie, I'm like gonna be rooting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And
yeah, bro. Marvel's doing a great job right now. It's
I know we kind of went on a crazy tangent. That's how the show goes, but so I want to kind of go back to how we introduced you as far as like how people like know you on the surface and outside of just like us being friends and all that.
Sure.
But like John Reagan, this person that you are, this brand that you made for yourself as far as just being on the music scene and even having side projects like Island Center, it seems like you've got your like hand like in a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
And they're all they're all taking off at different
paces.
But I don't know. What do you think? Do you like having the freedom of doing that? Like.
Yeah, I don't know if I can stick to one thing for too long. So I like being able to, like on Instagram, I'll write little like poetry / blogs on Instagram, but I'll like do a series of ideas. So I did a series on ideas about like anxiety and God, and now I'm doing a series on what's good. But they're almost like.
Is that one that was like that you just posted recently, like today or something?
I posted one today called Good God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of glimpsed it a little bit, but I wasn't sure.
So they're like little essays, I guess you could say, on like ideas. And right now I'm going through a series of good things, and they're like half love letters and half prayers. But they're also like all about the turmoil within us. And they're not necessarily about me. Like I posted one about like today was a good day finally for the first time in a long time. And someone's like, I'm so sorry that you've been going through a rough time. And I was like, thank you. I'm actually I didn't want to explain it to him. I was like, I'm doing good. I just like write essays about ideas of what other people are going through, conversations throughout my week.
Yeah.
And so I'll do music with the band Island Center, and you guys know Spencer, who's the bandmate there.
Yeah, shout out to Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer.
Yeah, he's incredible.
How do you guys like when you guys link up? How do you guys decide on who does what? I mean, I know you're seeing.
We bounce around. We'll bounce off each other's ideas. He'll do some like guitar part, and I'll be like, "No, that's not good." And then he's like, "All right, what about this?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's incredible." And then
so it's like usually you'll keep like trying things until you both agree on something.
Until we both agree that we like it. Yeah. I remember I wrote some lyrics, and he's like, "I hate those lyrics," and so I rewrote it.
You really said that?
Yeah, because like we want to release something that we both like. and then we want to make sure that we're having fun doing it. If we're not having fun, we stop.
It can't just be John Reagan like music.
No, it's
that's
not
why
about
it's
me.
something different.
Exactly. And I think it's good for me to do that because when I write music on my own and when I make and record my own music, there's so much pressure. I feel like from myself, like, all right, this is all me. I gotta do it my way, this way, work on it, and it's gotta sound a certain way. And with Island Center, we just have a ton of fun, but it's almost like we have to approve of each other's work.
Yeah. It helps you build as a musician as a whole because it's almost like it's a group project. You know, it's not like a dictatorship. Like you almost gotta like learn to communicate your thoughts and work with the other person.
Yeah, it's been difficult times where I'll be like, this is what I think the song should sound like, and then he's like, yeah, totally, I totally agree, and then like we'll work on the song, and I'm like, this is not what we talked about. And he was like, this is exactly what we talked about. And I'm like, no, it's not. And so then we'll argue a little bit, and then we'll make it sound even better than both of us originally thought.
Nice.
Because you guys have that different perspective.
Exactly. And it's, for whatever reason, I feel like we really know how to, like, make something better than what we could make on our own. Like, for whatever reason, like, he makes great music on his own. He's got music called Rat Spa. And I think it's...
Rat Spot?
Yeah, Spa. Like
Rat
SPA.
Spa.
And it's so good.
That's a good screen right there.
Yeah, it's like, it's very experimental and it's just so cool. And then mine's like traditional folk or alternative sound. And so when you bring us together, it kind of just brings in this like really
It brings
fun
in like
sound.
a new, like, yeah.
And it's like funky, it's like psychedelic or whatever.
It is.
I got that
like
vibe, especially with that song that you guys just did recently called I Lost My Shoes.
Have You Seen My Shoes?
Or Have You Seen My Shoes?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, so I'm like a really big fan of like Foster the People and like all these kind of indie groups, and you like felt like we're kind of in that category, but it was 100% you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
so
thanks,
like
dude.
at the beginning.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah, exactly, and well, I don't know, it's just cool because it has like this mystery. It's like a haunting feel at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's got like those awkward guitar strums, and you're like, where is this going? And then you just drop it with the keyboards and the drum, and I'm like, oh my god.
That drum. I like the drum.
My friends, like, oh my god, like I was gonna tell you to bring your guitar, man.
Dude, that would have been fun.
Let's sing the first verse. How does it go? Walking
like I'm tall, feel so small. Oh, my friends think I'm calm.
I can't even hear it, dude.
What's the second verse after that? After my friends think
I hate them all. Too many shoes. I'm not that cool.
That second, what do you say right after
I'm not that cool.
I'm not. The part where you just like let it. What do you say?
I'm a stranger walking down Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel so misunderstood.
Yes, that's it right there. How did you guys come
Yeah.
up with the band name Island Center?
Dude, we were sitting there for a minute because we wrote this song Unexpected, which is on Spotify, iTunes, and all that.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I love that song.
You love Unexpected? Thanks, bro.
Everyone at my work's bumping it, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. You know,
That's
like,
so cool.
I'm like, I'm gonna get my homie John Reagan on the podcast. You guys gotta listen to this.
That's
I'm
amazing.
all having everyone bump it.
So we wrote Unexpected in like 15 minutes.
Really?
And both of us loved the song so much. We were like, should we be a band? And he was like, yeah.
You want to do karate sometime?
And, so freaking, we were like, all right, we gotta come up with a band name if we're gonna be a band.
Yeah.
And we're saying stuff, and it was terrible. I don't even remember what we were saying. And I think I said something like "Elephants on Parade," and he was like, "What? No." I'm like, all right, sorry, or something like that.
Elephants on Parade.
And then
and
there was a hat, and it said "Island." It said "Island," right?
Yeah.
And then he had another hat that said "Center of whatever." And so I literally just was like, "What about Island Center?" And I just took the two hats and put it together.
I like it.
And then he was like, "Cool, I like it." I was like, "Sick." And
If you guys ever drop any merch, you have to make hats first.
hats first, is that what you think?
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
It's
Hats
crazy.
with shoes on it.
It's crazy because like some people overcomplicate things, or some things are so like well thought out. We've done it, but like the fact that you just said like you just saw two hats and it sounded good from
Yeah, one sense like center,
and it
whatever,
just worked so
it's an
good.
island.
Isn't it crazy how like things like that happen?
How did we even get ours? I forgot. How we got ours.
I think we just sat on the couch for like 5 minutes. It was something similar to you, and we just found something that we both were like that we both identified with, and we both agreed that like what's something that like that we stand for, you know, but like not so out there that people won't know what it is or what.
Yeah.
You know, like what's like a lifestyle that we both live and like we're like, you know, against the grain. You know, to us against the grain is, I mean, you're against the grain. It's being really just against the grain is kind of like just finding your own path.
Yeah.
And even though the whole crowd is going the opposite way, you are going against the grain, and you're writing your own story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what this podcast is like, you know, sole purpose is, you know, because everyone's like, well, what's your podcast about? Like, what are your guys' subjects? Like, what type of show are you? And it's like, it just depends, you know, how we feel that day, what guests we have on. Like, we're not like, I mean, you know, like I even told you before this, like, some people are like, well, what questions are you gonna ask us? And it's like, we're not like that. It's so organic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know we were gonna be talking about Star Wars tonight. You know, like, sometimes we just like end up talking about, you know, random tangents. And that's what makes it so great, because when you have real conversations, that's how it really goes, right? I don't want to be like, so John Reagan, tell me about your music career. You know, just kidding. Because it's not that authentic, you know. But like just us hanging out like boys. You know, just kicking it before, looking at the sunset. I don't know. I just like these vibes the best.
It's a people show, dude.
Yeah, it's a people show. It's a hang spot for sure.
You guys are family too, so like hanging out is always good.
Yeah, exactly.
Always, man.
It's like no pressure at all. And we always called you RJ, you know, like just like within that's like a family low key thing. Yeah. But you know, John Reagan is like who you are. You know, that's like your identity now. Everyone knows you as John Reagan, and it just works so good. You know. It flows with your music, and it's really like I could see that on a billboard one day.
John Reagan.
I'm serious. John Reagan 2024. Woo!
Modi.
I made those bumper stickers as a joke during 2020.
Did you really?
I said John Reagan 2020.
Oh my god.
And then it says make another great album again.
Dude, you have a lot of branding potential with that name.
Yeah, thanks,
like,
bro.
you could do a lot with that.
I appreciate it.
Seriously. And it's so crazy. For those of you guys that don't know, we actually had John Reagan's older brother on one of our earlier episodes, Nate. So we got Nate on one of the episodes, and I'm friends with both you guys, and you guys are both like on totally two crazy paths. Yeah. But I love you guys both as brothers, and it's cool to get to hang with you guys both separately, you know, and get to just kind of
we're super different, but we think about things the same way.
Yeah, you do.
Well, it's different because we come to different conclusions sometimes too, but sometimes we have the same opinion about stuff. But we think like exactly the same, and we just get to different places.
That's cool.
You guys both have all your siblings. You guys have unique people skills in the sense that you guys have the sense of how other people are feeling. Like you're very self-aware in that way. Like regarding, I feel like with Joey, Jake, Nate, and you guys are like that's like a special quality I like that you guys have.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
It's just like an ability to read the room, you know?
Yeah.
And that helps, especially being an entertainer like yourself, you know?
Yeah.
You got to read the room. But at the same time, you got to make the room feel you. You know, when you're writing your own music and you're doing your own things, you don't want to think like, is this what the fans are going to like? Or,
I
got you. So it's like, when you're conversing though with us, or like or even like when we're out in public or whatever, you're very good at listening.
Yeah.
And
thanks, bro.
You can. Well, yeah, our table's broken.
I like it, dude. You glued it back on.
Yeah. No, but you were just on a recent podcast too, man. You're kind of like you're all over the place right now, man. It's like perfect timing because you guys just dropped that new single. You know, now
I was unexpectedly brought on to 3 podcasts.
That's cool.
This past month.
Damn.
Back to back. Yeah. I've been following you on Instagram. Like,
I don't know when all of them are gonna. Just the first one dropped Tuesdays.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually listened to that one.
Yeah, thanks.
So you guys did that one live in like a bar?
We did it live in a bar.
Is that how they do it? Yeah. Like they'll go to random breweries?
They'll go to random breweries and bars or restaurants and even coffee shops sometimes.
No way.
Because they feel like people are more comfortable when they're talking out in public.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. That's a unique idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's its own different brand, you know?
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own brand.
And then this guy, you heard in the podcast, this guy came up and started talking to us. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And then he had his own questions.
Right.
And he didn't know us.
Right.
But he just knew that we were doing the podcast. Yeah, you get random
people.
So I was like, that was fun. Yeah.
That's
and it's nice to be in your guys' studio.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, really
putting the art out, dude.
You get to present your art.
Bro,
I'm selling this for $5,000 after this.
It's true.
Hey,
Yeah. I've been wanting to be on this show for so long, and I knew. I was like, if they ever invite me on the show, which I'm honored that you guys invite me on, because I never thought that I would be on.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I didn't think I was going to be on, but I knew exactly what I wanted to throw up in it.
That's cool, man. I'm glad that we decided to go get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's like, I mean, look. If you look at no one can see, but what we're looking at, you see all the art on my wall.
Yeah.
Every single piece of art that you see is an episode of Against the Grain.
No way, is it?
Yeah. So if you look all over my wall, that's 1,
dude,
2,
throw that
3,
up.
4. Yeah, we will definitely.
Throw it up, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, but as you can see, I'm running out of space on my wall, so that's why we did. That's why we just decided to leave the flag. I'm like, dude, I need to buy more art. We were talking about
we're
it.
saying like going on the art.
So
walk.
guys, if you even want to just showcase your art, if you want to sell it, if you want to just have it on an episode, feel free to let us know, and we'll gladly promote you guys, especially local artists. You know, it's cool to give everyone a chance to express themselves.
Let's just say.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so outside of music, man, I mean, how is life for you? Like, are you writing constantly? Are you like I know you have a creative mind, but like, are you constantly just stimulating yourself to keep creating?
Yeah, I am, but I'm like more and more I'm keeping it private.
Yeah.
You know, I used to want to be like, dude, I want to work hard to like promote this and get it out there, but more and more I'm making it extremely personal. So like I told you, I'm making music for myself, I'm making music for Island Center, and then I'm writing on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I even write sermons for the church that I attend when I preach on Sundays.
That's cool.
That's awesome, man.
But more and more, dude, I'm writing, and I'm like kind of keeping things personal. I'm like, maybe I don't know if I'll ever release music as John Reagan, like just my solo project in a sense, right? Instead of Island Center. I'm not trying to talk about myself in third person. But
Hey, never say never.
Shut up.
John, never say never.
But
you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm always open to the idea. But what I'm realizing is I like doing stuff for myself.
Yeah.
And kind of like, and the people that are close to me, dude. Honestly, Island Center, like, and if I ever release stuff as my solo project, I don't care if it ever like gets more successful. It's been fun of how successful it's been. Yeah. Like I'm not super famous, but people know me just because of my music.
Oh yeah.
And so like that's weird and that's fun. But I don't care if anything ever happens of it, because now I'm just kind of like, I think I for sure used to care about that.
Yeah.
Now I'm more and more just wanting to like, I just want to make good art.
It seems to me like you really enjoy expressing yourself in different ways, but you're doing it more as like, self-care. It's like therapeutic for you to just get stuff off,
Yeah,
music,
exactly.
when you're writing, it's like your own way of therapy for yourself. You get it out there, and hey, they might like it, they might not, but it's out there. At least it
helps me process what I'm going through, helps me process what I'm feeling, and it's like the melody, the lyrics, the chord progression. It's like, and then I can look back to it and be like, dang, I've grown from that.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging part about creating a song? Is it the writing process or finding the beat and the recording, everything to go with it?
No, I can find the rhythm of a song, the song feeling, the melody, the lyrics. I love that part so much. Recording is the most difficult thing, because when you record it, you can make it sound perfect the time you write it, but then to make it sound like that again is so difficult.
Wow.
So it's like, how do you capture a feeling in a recording?
It's very hard. You probably have to do it a bunch of times.
Dude, so many takes. It took me like a year to record my song Hope Turned Down, and another year to record La La Land.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Check it out, La La Land. It's on YouTube, isn't it?
iTunes, Spotify, La La Land. That's probably like, that's the last song I put out. You know?
Yeah.
So you said you also do like, sermons and stuff like that? Like you said you do that on Sundays?
Yeah.
Do you do that like in front of people and stuff? Like, are you actually
church,
like kind of like preaching in a way?
Yeah, so I'm definitely preaching to about 70 to 80 people on a packed Sunday.
Wow.
And on a slow Sunday it's like 30 to 35, but it's all family. We're all family.
Yeah, that's
it's
so
not,
cool.
And that's another thing. I think when I was younger I wanted to be a pastor, to kind of like, I had these people I looked up to. Carl Lentz, Stephen Furtick, all these guys, Judah Smith, and some of these guys have even like fallen and Carl like Lentz. ruined their reputation with just a fake lifestyle. And so I think when I was younger I was like, I want people to like to see that I can be like them. It was a way to prove myself. And now it's more just like, I love teaching people about the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a follower of Jesus. And so I think that's like, but that's also another part of my life that's super private. I don't promote that at all. That's more like,
if you ask me about it, I'll tell you, but I'm not like out here like pushing it on anyone.
Yeah. But I'll promote my music because that's fun. It's like, hey, go tell me what you think of my song.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's more like
it's made for everyone, kind of.
Yeah, that one's more like a career. There's a lot of nuance, something more to where it's like, let's help people in their faith.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to like, let's talk, let's study, let's learn, let's go to the feet of Jesus and like learn things.
That's cool, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's hard to teach, man, and then it's hard to also, you know, when you take on that role, like how you've taken on, you're on the spotlight. There's a lot of pressure. There's gonna be hundreds of people watching the podcast, you know. But I think, I mean, me personally, the people that I look up to the most are the people who don't like make themselves seem so perfect to the point where it's almost a facade. Dude. You know, I almost respect people more who admit that they messed up. Or, hey, look, I'm just a human being like you. You know? We make mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and act all perfect. And because then that, like, almost gives people... It discourages people. Because it makes them think that, I'm not perfect. He seems so perfect. Why can't I be perfect? Yeah. But they don't know you're not perfect.
You're struggling as well.
Yeah, dude, or you know someone's messed up and they pretend like they're perfect.
Yeah, see, and then they have this twisted reality of like, you know, he's not really who he's making himself.
Yeah, dude, but the people that I look up to the most are the people behind the scenes.
Yep.
Mr. Monday, dude. Friggin' love that guy.
Who's that? Mr. Monday?
Mr. Monday is a mentor of mine. I wrote a song about him.
Really? Yeah. What does he do? Is he like a
he's just this guy that I ran into at a coffee shop and he just like helped, but he's like, he's freaking awesome, dude. I love that.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I think Mr. Tuesday's cooler. No,
Taco Tuesday.
Or like the people, dude, the people who inspire you, but they don't have a big name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have social. They're not out there like saying, "Look at what I'm doing."
Yeah, because it's not about themselves.
Yeah. That's what I look up to.
It's
dude.
not
That's
about themselves.
More and more,
to just be there.
More and more, I want to be a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I want to be known by my friends, my family.
That's it.
And that's it, dude. And then I want to be a nobody to everyone else and just be.
That's so against the grain, bro. Stop. You can't go any more against the grain than that.
You have to take over the podcast.
John Grainin.
John Grainin.
No, that is
John
cool,
A. John A.
I mean, well, if you're even looking about like, I mean, because you said you follow the Bible and stuff like that, and I do too. I'm a Christian. Everyone who's watched the podcast knows I've admitted to being a Christian. I don't hide my faith, but the reason like that I like the Bible so much is because it's filled with all these characters who really did live radical and against the grain.
Yeah.
Like all of the public figures in the Bible, like literally did stuff like that was so against the grain that it would like made the best stories ever.
Yeah.
You know, like one of my favorite stories is, and I think I've said it on the podcast before, is like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like the three young guys. It's like us at our age.
Yeah.
Imagine like living in a kingdom where like everyone bowed to this one king. Like thousands and thousands of people. You know, everyone did it. And then these three are just like, no, we love Jesus. We're not going to bow. Like the balls that it took to do that, like in that time. And they said, if you don't bow, we're literally going to burn you alive. Like no one was willing to do that.
Yeah. Dude,
you know, but they just like said, you know what? We had so much faith. We just did it.
Look at that story. And think about how society would do that today. So, all right. So that story is about these three guys,
right?
And they're in a country that they're not from.
Yeah.
They're in Babylon. They got the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
He has this great big statue, and then he says like, "Worship this statue." Now we like kind of look at that and just think like, man, that's so like old days, barbaric almost, like that they would worship a statue.
Yeah.
But dude, when foreigners come into the United States and they see the Statue of Liberty and they say worship freedom and liberty, and every single president says we want you, what this nation is about is freedom and liberty. It's about making your story great, making you go great, making your way
great again.
Make America great again, make your family grow. Make your family grow, make your dreams come true. It becomes all about self.
Right.
And they look, and then they like these even studies shown that there are more people our age that are narcissistic right now than ever before.
I just recently heard that as well.
Yeah, there's more narcissists
people
right now than ever before. So,
everyone's so self-centered.
So there's what's the looking at that story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego worshiping this statue, worshiping this idealism, right. And then you think
when everyone else is,
when everyone else,
it's like
right
not
now,
a big deal. Just do it.
America is quote unquote great because we make our lives so much better. We progress ourselves. We make a name for ourselves.
Right.
We do this, that, and
well,
that.
It's like
and there's a great statue that represents all of that.
Right.
Instead of, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
That's true.
Maybe my name doesn't matter. Maybe my dreams don't matter. But I'm willing to give up something for you, something sacrificial, selfless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like going against the grain of our own country right now.
Oh yeah, but it's not like we're making everyone like worship the Statue of Liberty either. You know
it's more the idealism.
Right.
More like, do we work? Okay, so like freedom and liberty is not bad at all.
Right.
But I'm saying like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah, and it's true. It's like you're talking about like the similarities between like back in the day and today. It's not that different.
It's not that different.
That's
We're
like
the
what
same.
you're saying. It's like
we're
you
the
think
same.
it's so crazy and like. Well, I can't believe
It's
they did
normal
that
or
back
worse,
then.
yeah.
But think
it's
about
normal
what's
for a guy
now.
to go up to a homeless person recording and being like, "Hey, look at this great thing I did for you."
Exactly.
Right.
Making a name for himself.
It's only for,
look at how kind I am helping this homeless
like
person.
you said, it's narcissistic.
It is.
Yeah,
Like, it's only for self.
So like you talk about that story,
Right.
going against the grain.
So what do we do? Moving forward? Me, us three. What's another way that we can go against the grain that'll just change our lives?
Well, I think you guys are doing it. I think you guys are doing it with this show in one sense, is that you're not trying to make a name for yourselves, but you're trying to encourage the people that you have on the show.
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
huge. And I'm learning that every day. It's like I don't want to make music to make a name for myself. I don't want to be like, if I get famous and popular, and if my music continues to grow, because it's grown a lot, like you're saying, if it continues to grow, that's awesome. But I don't want to do that to make a name for myself. I don't want life to be about me.
How like awkward is it? You know?
Yeah, I
like
don't want to.
At the end of your
Who am I?
I'm
I'm just
life, like it was me. I did it all.
We're all
I'm
normal
the
people,
hero.
dude. We're all normal people.
We wanna. I think like
Why
the
are we
key
trying to
to
tell them to be
happiness
something better?
and the key to contentment is enabling others.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
in any way that you can, and that's like why we want to give people a chance on the show to just tell their own story. Whether it be about Star Wars or whether it be about
have fun
preaching or talking about music, like we're enjoying each other's company. And at the end of your life, you're gonna look back and like be thankful, like, oh man, I'm glad I like hung out, like, you know, and just hung out with the boys and enjoyed each other and got funny and weird. And
yeah, dude, I'm never gonna be on my deathbed and like if I die and I'm old age. Hopefully I live that long.
Yeah, 180.
But gosh, but I'm never gonna say, man, I'm so glad I was popular.
Yeah, how weird
I'm gonna
is
be
that?
like, yeah, no one's gonna think that. You know what I'm saying? Jim Carrey even said, I hope everyone knows what it's like to get famous, just so they know that it's not that great.
Yep. I mean, look at the guy, man. He's literally was like the number one comedy actor in the whole entire world, and now it's like, it's almost like it's driven him to like craziness.
Yeah, he hates it, and that's life is good, dude. Being around people and just not taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Just having fun.
Yeah, dude, just chill. Dude. Like, you don't gotta take yourself so serious.
Yeah.
Living life great, dude. I'm freaking. You talk about like people who show their humanity instead of pretending to be like this thing. Dude, like imagine, like think about how scary it would be if you pretended like you had it all together.
Oh, dude.
How lonely that would feel, dude.
It'd be a nightmare.
And then if you became too prideful to realize that you were equal to people, like if you looked down on people. But I mean, like in some sense, everyone has their own biases.
Yeah.
And you got to just learn how to grow out of that once you see it, once you realize it.
Yeah. I mean, you even look at Jesus. Like, he came to earth and he was equal with us. He never looked down on anyone. He
never looked down on us.
He was eye to eye with us.
Same playing field.
You know? Like, he was never like, everyone bow to me, I'm your savior. Right. He was more just like, let me wash your feet.
When he was in the wilderness for 40 days?
Yeah. Imagine all the temptations.
What are the temptations that he received? Exactly. What did the devil promise him? Fame, power, and glory. And he's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Jesus,
and
God
those are the three
said he
biggest
didn't need
things
any of that.
Yeah.
Because he already knew. It's like, you know, he saw the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Some of us don't see the bigger picture. We think that fame, glory, and
it's a lot of
money
insecurity,
is all like that's the end of what you want.
Because that's all it's thrown at.
That's what's thrown at us, but also there's insecurity. Like, you should be more, because like again, we live in this society where it's like you need to be famous on TikTok, you need to be famous here, you need to be famous there, and it's like, why can't we just live happy lives?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I kind of hope that like the cell towers just crash one day and we have to go back to just like going to landline.
There's a TV show about that.
You know, Westworld.
No. Does that happen in Westworld?
No, I feel like it's something like that though.
There's a show where like an
Mad Max? No, I'm just kidding.
Freaking
Rick and Morty.
EMP goes off.
And everyone
and
no
all
one can talk?
no, just they can talk
Like on the internet.
But on the internet,
That's
yeah.
what I mean, like communication.
Yeah, all electricity was out. He's like, what number was that? I'm gonna cut that out. He's like, I don't want to look down on the show.
No, shut up.
No, wait.
Well, that's the only way
Just
we
kidding.
talk now, though. Literally.
You don't look down, bro. I'm sorry for that. You can
Metaphorically?
cut that out, bro. Cut what I said out.
No,
Hey.
keep it on.
Hey,
No.
Jamie, cut that.
I don't wanna-
Hey, Jamie, look at Westworld. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's like, yeah.
No, all the electricity was off.
Dude, think about like, think about this. Have you guys ever heard of like Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
How he was literally at one point he literally wiped out like 25% of the world. Like he was such a crazy conqueror, dictator. Like he would literally like.
Where is he from?
I think.
Is it Mongolia?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Mongolia, whatever. His armies were so huge. It was like, you know, when you watch the movie 300 and the Persians are just like just destroy countries.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was only like, you know, that wasn't even that long ago. Like that someone had that power to do that.
Well,
you know,
Hitler.
or Hitler even. Like we think like I think we forget how bad it could be.
Well, I think
we think it's so much bad right now, but I'm like,
yeah, it used to be
imagine
worse.
if like that was like during our time, you'd be freaking out.
Yeah, I think we've grown as a society, especially with the internet. We're so connected with people. Like, Russians don't believe Putin's propaganda because they're friends with Ukrainians on Instagram.
Well, in Russia,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
but they're only allowed to see, like in Russia, they only have certain they can only get their information from a Russian outlet. So they're not allowed to be free like us, like how we have
there's
VPN, or what is it called, VPNs?
Yeah, I think that they can only control it so much. Like, I feel like if they posted something negative about Russia, they have all your information. They'll put you under whatever restrictions.
Yeah, like on a watch list.
But if
or
you don't
something.
post anything, and if you're just looking up stuff, or if you're talking to somebody in Ukraine, I don't know if they have that capability with their technology.
Yeah.
Or if any country has that capability.
They
because the internet
definitely
is
put
so
blockers.
fast. They definitely put blockers
like in
for
China,
sure.
like they don't see like the stuff that we see on the internet. They don't even that doesn't even.
Yeah,
come
there's
on
websites that are like blocked or keywords that are
or
blocked.
even like on Instagram and all that.
But
there's
like
some things that are just completely blocked.
But Ukraine and Russia haven't been at war for very long. It's this year.
Right.
Like there's been tension.
Yeah.
Yes, but there hasn't been a war. So like they wouldn't block Ukraine stuff prior to this. Right? So they've built relationships. They're right next to each other.
Right.
They've built relationships. So Putin says stuff, and then they're just like, wait, that's not. Then the Russian soldier, like that story that went viral where his mom called. He said he was going on a drill to Ukraine, and then she saw what was happening, and she's like, "Are you doing a drill in Ukraine?" And he didn't like respond for like a week, and then he said, "No, Mom, I didn't know we were going to war."
Does it happen that quick?
Yeah, and like soldiers are not even fighting. Russian soldiers are laying down their arms. They're like, we're not going to do this. This is dumb. And I think that we can, like you said, we're in a way much better place than Napoleon, Hitler, all those world conquerors, all those people who were doing so much.
Like I know,
Rome.
I'm the first to say, like the world is not perfect. It never will be. But I feel like we're in a pretty easy time to live.
I think when
Like,
Jesus,
this is the easiest it's ever going to be.
when Jesus talked about the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and how one of Jesus' main teachings is that the Holy Spirit was going to start living in us, God was going to live in us, and that we were going to spread this light, this true light, as it talks about in the Gospel of John, around, right? So every single time another person gives their life to Jesus, this light is created within them, and they spread that light wherever they go. So I think that the world can only get better because Jesus' light is only spreading more. You know what I'm saying? Like if you turn off this light and then turn it back on, it's on immediately for us, but there's nanoseconds where the light is spreading.
Yeah.
Right? So in our dimension of time, the light of Jesus is slowly spreading across the world, and so we're seeing pockets of good across the world happening. Good things are happening, and with the internet, it makes it seem like a lot of bad things are happening.
Yeah.
But if we look at, like you said, if we look from where we used to be to where we are now, like, it's possible that we'll go to World War III.
Right.
But it's also really highly possible that we won't, because nobody wants it, and we're like, why would we destroy humanity for this?
Yeah.
You know,
It all
the
depends.
kingdom of God, the light is spreading.
Yeah, and it's like, if you look at the big picture, it can make people freak out and they like lose their.
Dude, I get
crap.
scared whenever I see that stuff on the news.
But dude, think about it. Like, there's some things you can't control. Like, there's a force in this world that's gonna happen regardless. But if you just focus on yourself and like the people that you interact with, that's how you're gonna see change. You know.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly freaking out, oh, did you see what President Biden said? He's gonna, we're gonna get bombed next week. Trump's got the red button to the nukes. Like, all these things, if you just play into them, it'll make you have like a panic attack.
Yeah.
And you gotta just focus back on yourself and
be like, how am I doing with my relationships?
Yeah, just chill out.
Again,
be nicer to
going
people.
against the grain. Am I being selfish or selfless in my relationships? And just make it like Michael Jackson said. I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Michael Jackson.
You know, take it. Oh, geez, start with Michael Jackson. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Yes, the problems of the world can get overwhelming and all that stuff, but let's just look at the man in the mirror. And for me, I had to do that when I realized when I was like 20 years old, 21 years old. I looked at myself and I said, I'm making music because I'm trying to prove that I'm worth looking at. I'm not making music for me.
You're driven by ego?
Like, the songs were from my heart, and I was being truly vulnerable, and I wrote those songs that I love and that I was like connected with. But I think I promoted and it worked. Like, my fan base grew. But I was like, I don't care if my fan base grows if that's the only point. It's just to become famous.
Right.
You know, like,
you don't want to be famous by being like clickbaited, you know? You want people to find you organically.
Yeah, and then if people don't find me, I'm not a failure of a musician.
Right.
No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If people don't listen to the podcast, you guys aren't failing at the podcast.
Exactly, because we're still having a good time.
Because you're having a good time. You're enjoying life. You're putting the spotlight on other people.
Yeah, if no one watches this episode in the whole world, I still had a good night with you guys.
Yeah.
So it was worth it.
Exactly. I love catching up with you guys.
I'm not like, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to... Smash the like button. Bye.
You should have like a little graphic pop up.
Yeah, dude. Some people literally sell themselves short by just trying to get clicks. And
Yeah.
like, just
Dude, there's a
like
show
things.
with Ian McGregor who plays Obi-Wan. There's a show of him on Netflix, and he's playing this dress designer. He designs women's dresses in the 70s, and it's called Halston.
Is it a movie?
No, it's a TV series, but it was mind-boggling. I'm gonna kind of spoil it, so if you want to watch it, but he's this guy in the 70s who designs women's dresses and like changed the game of designing dresses forever. And his name is Halston. And at the end of the show, when he just lives this wealthy, famous lifestyle, where he's so famous and he's so wealthy that it's just like everyone just worships him. But also the people that are close to him can't stand him because he's become so self-absorbed. He says to his best friend at the end of the series, and he's like, I wasted my name. And he's like, what do you mean you wasted your name? Your name is one of the most influential names in design and clothing ever. And he said, but it's all you truly have.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and I sold it. I gave away my name to be a brand.
So basically he's saying he just sold out.
He's sold out. He gave his name to become this brand, to become this thing, to become this image. And then he is like, but I didn't realize that my name was all I had.
Dang.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so you talked about how I made my name a brand. I kind of did. And I talked about that on the other podcast, but the episode got deleted. But I watched that dude and I started crying. I was like, I don't want to make my name a brand. I don't want to like become this image of this musician or this writer or whatever that means. I enjoy music and I enjoy writing, so I hope you like it too. I'm going to share it with you and hope that you connect and we can find a connection. But I don't want to freaking write music to be this cool rock star that women desire and that men desire to be. You know? Like,
What
what's the
happened
point,
though?
dude?
Yeah.
When you sell your name.
Are you prepared for that moment? And it might happen that what if all of a sudden one of your songs just takes off? and all of a sudden you start getting these phone calls, and you start getting these offers and these deals. Will you walk through that door, just to see, and give it a shot? Because it very well might likely happen. You know, if you keep creating.
If I keep creating, putting.
I'm
it
just
out
saying,
there,
there's a chance that it might happen.
There's more of a chance of me putting stuff. Of getting a call if I keep putting stuff out there. I wouldn't be opposed to like taking up a record deal
Mm-hmm.
or speaking somewhere
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that.
Right.
It's all about the motives. I think that I would just make sure that I would have someone to check me.
Right.
I think it's super important to have those people in your life who are just like, yo, you're being extremely self-absorbed right now or prideful. And I have this one guy, and he'll just, and it makes me cringe, and it makes me feel, it makes my chest heat up, and I start blushing, and he'll just be like, bro, you are way too into yourself right now.
Oh.
And you need people like that in your life, bro.
You're like,
you're just like, and you're just embarrassed, and you just
you're like,
get,
but I am cool, dude. I'm so cool.
we all have moments like that where you get on this adrenaline
You think
high,
you're this, yeah.
and you're like, I'm doing good right now, and then they're just like,
But one thing, it's hard,
bro.
That's where it
you freaking
But
piss
John,
like the rest of us,
John,
dude.
that's where it gets tricky though, because in order to make it and in order to like become, you know, something that you do have to own it though. Like you can't make it and be like, yeah, I guess, you know. Like you have to own it. You have to be confident.
I talked about it with
you
my
have to
therapist.
say, yeah, this is who I am. Like I am proud of my music. Rock out.
I talked about it with my therapist. He said it's a little bit. He says it's impossible to put yourself on a stage of any kind and not have a little bit of. He used the word narcissism, and now he's a professional, and I love my therapist a lot. He's one of the wisest people I've ever met in my life, dude. But he said you have to have a little bit of narcissism to put yourself up on a stage of any kind, right? He says what becomes a problem is that when you are only doing narcissistic things and your identity becomes narcissism. He's like, confidence is a good thing. And he's like, knowing that you can do something and you can do it well and you know when to do it and when not to do it, he's like, that's a good thing. He's like, there's nothing wrong with speaking to people, whether it's 75 people to hundreds of people, to thousands of people, to millions of people. He's like, what's wrong is when you think that's your worth and you're better than other people, and then you want more of it. And then you're like, I'm so awesome, I'm so this.
Start feeding into it.
You start feeding into it. So like, there's mega church pastors out there where they start off, and there's like study after study after study where they're humble, they're kind, they're sweet, they know everyone's name in the church. And then all of a sudden they become so big, and then it's almost like they're worshipped over God and the church.
Hey, shout out Joel Osteen. No, I'm just kidding.
It's so I try to never throw any judgment on any man who shares the word of God because there's so much pressure already.
And that's it's like.
But anyone who abuses their power.
It even goes into like people that we vote in for like politics and stuff. Like they probably start off good, and that's why we vote them in. And then all of a sudden they get this
They're like,
power.
I'm worth being the ruler of the free world.
All of a sudden they get to be the decision maker and the rule maker, and then they like feed off of it.
Yeah.
But I think you're pretty well grounded, and you have enough like
people there around.
You have enough rules, like internal rule books, in yourself to check yourself. And you've already developed friendships before you're famous, or before something pops off.
Sure.
To where you'll have people that you trust who will check you, like you said.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that I still have a lot to grow. I still have a lot to be like at the point where, I mean, no one ever really makes it, but...
You alright over there?
Yeah, I got a splinter.
Oh, sorry. You want to split up?
Yeah, please.
Get the tweezers, dude.
Can you get tweezers?
I don't have tweezers.
You don't have tweezers?
No, John Reagan. Hey, John Reagan,
Jinx.
suck it out for him.
Bro.
Not
wrist.
That's for the Patreon.
We need to get it. We need to get it.
No, dude, like, friggin', no one ever makes it, but every day I'm learning. I'm like, man, I got a lot. Especially in a relationship now for 6 months. What this relationship teaches me is like, dude, I've got a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
You've been dating for 2 years now.
Yep. Shout out
Kiana. Kiana was on the show. Great episode.
Right.
Do you feel like being with her for 2 years, or like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, does it make you realize your flaws more, or
Yeah, it definitely does, and it also helps you to like face the things that you don't want to face because someone knows you for who you really are.
Yeah.
And then you gotta actually like
work on yourself.
Yeah, you gotta work on yourself. Like, I have these habits that I've always had, and I didn't realize how much it affects people around me.
Yeah, dude.
So if I'm gonna like choose to live with this person one day, like I can't like keep that habit, you know. Or like you gotta like adapt to other people's habits. You know, they might like something that you don't like, and you gotta almost like find a perfect
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah,
but your pride was like, that's bad. I don't like that. Stop doing that. And then you're like, it's selfish, and you have to learn like.
Yeah, you have to learn how
to. You have to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
I hate that term.
I know.
We're just gonna have to agree to disagree. But then you're like, I don't want to agree to disagree.
No. There's some things though. Exactly. It's like, and my dad says that it's like you just gotta choose your battles. You know? Are you gonna make a big deal out of the little things? Is it worth it? You know?
Is it constantly
worth, like,
learning?
Making a big deal out of some little habit they have.
Yeah. Constantly learning to be selfless.
Yeah.
Is
and work on it. Work on yourself. Some people just give up right away because something gets hard. You know.
Therapy, good friends, healthy relationships. Let yourself be wrong. Let yourself make mistakes and be like, I made a mistake. And it's embarrassing and it's cringy and it's awkward.
That's true.
But you made a mistake.
You gotta do it.
We all do.
And that's part of like just growing and maturing with age. You know, when I was younger, like I was like so self-centered, even in relationships, where I was so picky and so needy, to where if they didn't meet one of my like criteria, I would just like
out of here, bro.
And they were actually like good people. Or
you're like, you're not good enough for me.
Yeah, well, just little things. I'm like, no, it's not gonna work. No, I'm not gonna wait. You know, but now it's like, you know. Imagine what other people think about you.
I know, and you're like, man, you threw me away just because of that one little thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's scary to think about it. You don't think, like, I did that too, man. I wrote so many people off because I was like, oh, this, that, whatever. And then when someone wrote me off because of something small, I was like, man, you didn't even like let me explain myself.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't let me grow.
Right.
You didn't let me mature. You didn't let me do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know? And so then you start learning, I'm not going to write someone off just because they have a different opinion of it. I'm not going to write someone off because they, believe that. I'm not going to write someone off because of whatever, dude.
Yeah. That's good, man. It sounds like you're in a good place. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, bro.
I know you said you're 6 months into that relationship, but that's a long time, you know?
It is a long time.
It seems like it's
longest I've ever been in, dude.
Yeah.
So, man. It's fun.
We'll see how it goes. We'll do it keeping up with John Reagan.
Next
episode. So, where's the ring? No, that's cool though, man. I'm happy for you, and I'm kind of in the same thing too. You know, like we're.
Dude, I love your relationship. I love you both.
I'm glad that you like Kiana, and
we bump into each other grocery shopping.
Yeah, she always tell me she saw you. We went and saw you that one time too.
Yeah, I was getting taquitos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Say taquitos?
Yeah, taquitos and Takis, dude.
Ooh, those are the best.
Throw them in the cart. Dinner.
I don't know, dude.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
What's the main criteria?
Are you throwing people off your list for one thing, or?
No.
Or are you just waiting?
I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tell the ladies, bro. What are you looking for?
Nothing right now, dude.
Just someone just someone that could say hi.
Yeah.
Someone that could pull a splinter out.
I need that.
Hey, if you girls are good at pulling splinters out, hit a.
We got a guy. Oh, we do a
got
splinter.
Splinters.
He's got a splinter, bro.
We need a good table.
But if you go pull the splinter out of his heart, he'll be able to love again.
He's constantly in pain, but he can handle it. He's manly.
Yes, look at it. Look at that smile, dude.
Smiling through the pain.
Superman curl. Come on now.
This good-looking guy with his shirt, bro.
Hey,
muscles.
So we're kind of veering towards the end, though. Can you drop your name on Instagram or anything? I mean, I'll put it on the info for this episode.
If people want to listen to the music and message me or whatever and talk about more stuff.
Yeah.
John Reagan Music on Instagram, Island Center on Instagram, Spotify, iTunes. It's all the same. Twitter. It's all the same. Reagan spelled like the president. REAGAN. And John is JOHN.
Yep.
A lot of people spell it JON, but HN.
John Reagan.
But message me, tell me you listen to the podcast, tell me.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Let us know what you think. Share this episode. Thank you guys for supporting. Episode 42. 42 hours of content for the channel.
Listen
happy
to some
to hang out with you guys. Yeah, listen to some songs.
Yeah.
Check out what was the last single you dropped for Island Center?
Have You Seen My Shoes?
Have you seen my shoes on Spotify?
It's a banger.
It's a banger.
Certified.
And if you don't listen to it, that's okay.
We'll
Let's
go
get a beer
yourself.
sometime. Let's hang out.
Yeah. Let's go right now. Meet us at where are we gonna go?
Adonai.
Dude,
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you for supporting.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah, for sure, bro. We'll see you soon.